हेलो एवरीवन। आज हम बात करेंगे टी बिल्स लैडरिंग इन इंडिया। अब 2 महीने पहले मेरे को इसमें ना टी बिल्स पता था, ना लैडरिंग की स्ट्रेटेजी पता थी। बस इंडिया मेरे को पता था। सो व्हाट इट इज़ एंड आई फाउंड इट, आई रिसर्च्ड ऑन इट और मुझे लगा ये बहुत अच्छी स्ट्रेटेजी है, स्पेशली गिवन द करंट टाइम्स एंड अ वेरी गुड टूल टू हैव व्हेन टाइम्स गो बैड. So, bad as in uncertain. So, I'll slowly take you all through what are T-bills, what is laddering, and how we can do it in India. I could not find any video on T-bills laddering. Uh, there were a lot of videos from US perspective, Europe perspective, but India में कुछ ऐसा नहीं था. T-bills के बारे में है, but laddering उनकी कोई कैसे कर सकते हैं वो नहीं था. So let's start with basics. देखो हमारे पास जब भी पैसा होता है तो हम कहाँ कहाँ लगा सकते हैं. इट डिपेंड्स ऑन वॉट ऑल नीड्स आर देयर फॉर अस. तो हमें क्या क्या मेजर नीड्स चाहिए होती हैं. आइडियली एक इन्वेस्टर के लिए सबसे अच्छी इन्वेस्टमेंट वो होती है जिसमें अनसर्टेनिटी बिल्कुल नहीं हो रिटर्न्स में, लिक्विडिटी फुल हाई रहे और रिटर्न्स बहुत अच्छे रहें. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली ऐसा कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं है. मेनली आप लोग ने सुना होगा कि इन्वेस्टमेंट्स दो तरीके के होते हैं, एक इक्विटी और एक फिक्स्ड इनकम. और फिर देर आर अदर ऑल्टरनेट वंस लाइक बाइंग अ प्रॉपर्टी और बाइंग गोल्ड, सॉवरेन गोल्ड बॉन्ड्स, गोल्ड के डेरिवेटिव्स, व्हाटएवर, ETFs. एंड इफ आई हैव टू कमेंट ऑन द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर्स ऑफ दीज, वी आई एम अज्यूमिंग वी नो अ बिट अबाउट इक्विटी. इक्विटी इज नथिंग बट द स्टॉक मार्केट्स. ठीक है, सारा जो भी हम सुनते हैं, निफ्टी, सेंसेक्स, नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, डीमैट अकाउंट्स, ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट्स, सारे इक्विटी में आते हैं. बेसिकली कंपनीज लिस्टेड होती हैं स्टॉक मार्केट में और हम उनके शेयर्स खरीद सकते हैं. और अगर कंपनी अच्छा करती है तो उनका शेयर का प्राइस बढ़ता है, तो इसलिए हमारी इन्वेस्टमेंट भी बढ़ती है. एंड हिस्टोरिकली इट हैज़ बीन वेरी सक्सेसफुल, बशर्ते आप कम से कम 10 साल के लिए इक्विटी में रखो. उसका टाइम होराइजन लेके चलो 10 साल का, क्योंकि इट इज़ वेरी अनसर्टेन, इट इज़ वेरी रिस्की इन द शॉर्ट टर्म. 1 साल के अंदर स्टॉक मार्केट हाफ भी हुआ है तो अगर आप मान लो 10 लाख रुपए लगाओगे, 1 साल बाद आपका पैसा 5 लाख भी हो सकता है. बट एट द सेम टाइम अगर आप उसको 10 लाख के लिए रखने का सोच के चलते हो तो इट हैज़ नेवर गिवन नेगेटिव रिटर्न्स ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ 10 years एंड इट हैज़ गिवन हैंडसमली. तो सबसे अच्छे रिटर्न्स हैं, लिक्विडिटी भी हाई रहती है. हम जब भी चाहते हैं तब डीमैट अकाउंट से स्टॉक बेच के 2 दिन के अंदर या 3 दिन के अंदर हमारा पैसा अकाउंट में आ सकता है, विच इज़ प्रीटी गुड लिक्विडिटी 3 दिन का टाइम. गोल्ड और रियल एस्टेट में नहीं कमेंट करना चाहता बिकॉज दे आर वेरी नीश और उनका बहुत डिफरेंट बेस्ड ऑन स्पेशल सर्कमस्टेंसेज उनके कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स बदलते रहते हैं. रियल एस्टेट इज़ वेरी मच डिपेंडेंट ऑन लोकेशन. एक जगह आप लोगे एट द सेम पॉइंट इन टाइम, आप एक जगह प्रॉपर्टी खरीदोगे एक टाइप की, बी इट कॉमर्शियल, बी इट रेजिडेंशियल, all will give different types of returns. So मेरे लिए very complicated to explain. Gold also to an extent it is a bit medium returns with medium risk. मतलब वो it's not as volatile as stock markets, but it has given decent returns and sometimes at par or even more than equity over the long term as well. Especially आजकल तो काफी अच्छा चल रहा है gold. Coming to fixed income, I think this is one of the most ignored in understanding by a common citizen. Now, I don't, please don't mistake me by saying ignored. I don't mean that we don't invest here. We definitely invest most of our money here as an average Indian citizen, which is FDs. But do we know anything beyond FDs, beyond PPFs and EPFs जो कि हमारे लिए मैंडेटरी होते हैं? तो क्या क्या ऑप्शंस हैं? एंड टी बिल्स, ट्रेजरी बिल्स are part of this fixed income group, and I'll tell you what they are. And why am I making a case for T-bills? Because of two main reasons. और वो दो reasons क्या हैं why I personally am a bit worried about investing in the stock markets right now. Number one, this is Nifty's graph over the last 1.5 years. 13th October 2021 को Nifty was around 18,000 और आज भी Nifty is around 18,000. So पिछले 1.5 साल में कुछ ज़्यादा रिटर्न नहीं आया है. This is like 0% when inflation is so high. Now where will it go from here? You can say ठीक है consolidation हो रहा है, it may be a healthy consolidation and after that there will be a push upwards. Generally that can be a logic, but I'm not sure. My case is this is a high interest rate scenario, and by high interest rate let me show you. This is overall interest rates from I think 2000. Thank you to basunavish.com. So what we see here is this is the recession period. where the interest rates took a dip. And by interest rate, what do I mean? I mean repo rates. Repo rates are something which are controlled by RBI. Those interest rates are changed by RBI to alter the amount of money supply in the market. थोड़ा complicated है, but basically it is a tool in the hands of RBI to control inflation and avoid overheating of the economy. जब भी इन्फ्लेशन बहुत ज़्यादा होता है, it is undesirable. What RBI does is, and not even RBI, all the central banks across the world, they raise interest rates, and in India, interest rates are called repo rates. What it means is, जब वो interest rates raise करते हैं, they raise the interest rate from at which the banks borrow money from them. Here यहाँ पे ये 5% था, और अभी I think 6.5% latest चल रहा है. This is the 6.5% latest which they did in 6th April. Every 2 months around they take a call at what levels interest rate should be at. And if we see, whenever the interest rates have increased, they have been increased to control inflation, but with it comes the risk of market going down. Why does it happen? Because when the interest rates increase, इन्फ्लेशन कैसे कम होगा? पहली बात, इंटरेस्ट रेट्स इंक्रीज होंगी तो आपका फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट रेट्स बढ़ेंगे. यू विल बी इंसेंटिवाइज टू सेव मोर. पहले फिक्स डिपॉजिट 5% 4% भी चल रही थी एक साल की, बट आजकल 6.5% तक पहुंच रही है. So you have more incentive to save more in deposits with banks. Very simply put, because most of us use FDs. But at the same time, it also makes loans more expensive. So it's like a double whammy. You are incentivized to save, which is good from our retail perspective, but from a business perspective, they need loans to grow. They leverage a lot of debt to invest in capital expenditures, in growing their own company, growing their share value. When the interest rates are raised, कंपनीज का लोन लेना महंगा हो जाता है. The earlier if they were able to pick up some loan at 5 or 6%, now they will be able to pick up at 8-9%. And at the same time उनका इंटरेस्ट सर्विसिंग भी महंगा हो जाता है. इंटरेस्ट डेट सर्विसिंग मतलब उनका एग्जिस्टिंग लोन्स के रीपेमेंट्स, जैसे आपका हाउस लोन होता है. आजकल हाउस लोन्स के EMIs भी बढ़ गए हैं बिकॉज इंटरेस्ट रेट्स हैव इंक्रीज. सिमिलरली कंपनीज के लिए इंटरेस्ट रेट्स थोड़े महंगे होते हैं, तो उनको उनका इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट ज़्यादा हो जाता है. So it puts a lot of pressure on the companies, and that is usually the time, especially when there are years of consistent growth. Rising interest rates is the time when many weaker companies crack, and those cracks sometimes expose some small bubble, because of which temporarily the market may collapse. Collapse as in, it can give up to 20% correction, and if it converts into a recession, which was there 13 years ago, and which has been there for around every 10 years roughly to say, हर 10 साल में अगर रिसेशन आता है तो yes, there is definitely a risk. So coming back to this consolidating Nifty, can it go below or can it go up? I don't know. So these are uncertain times. That is why in these uncertain times I would not invest much into equity as of now. I'm not a gambler. I would look into something more safe. And that brings me to fixed income. Now, what are fixed income? 3 types I have tried to divide fixed incomes investments. One are kind of retirement focus. ये हो गए हमारे public provident fund, employee provident fund, and NPS, tax saver or long holding period. Then there are fixed deposits and funds. This is the most common category among fixed income investments. ये है हमारे बैंक FD, recurring deposits, corporate fixed deposits, which are like bank FDs, but they are issued by companies to raise loans from the public. And then there are post office schemes, debt mutual funds को भी मैंने इसी में डाल दिया basically. But yes, this is the second category. And third, ये I would say fixed income में सबके पप्पा होते हैं. RBI T-bills, RBI bonds and state government municipal corporate bonds. पप्पा क्यों होते हैं? क्योंकि when we say fixed income means एक ड्यूरेशन के लिए पैसा डाल दिया और उसमें उतना मिलता रहेगा. नाउ हाउ इज इट दैट दीज इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स आर एबल टू गिव अस फिक्स्ड इनकम ओवर द टाइम पीरियड? बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली ऑल ऑफ देम, मोस्ट ऑफ द अमाउंट दे इन्वेस्ट इन these are the top of the hierarchy directly, and retail investors can now buy directly from the government. मुझे याद है earlier there used to be around 2015 या 17 में there was some rule which enabled retail investors like you and I to invest in T-bills, bonds, and all these three categories. Uske pehle, it used to be only companies and banks and all those these folks basically, who controlled all these things. They used to be able to buy these T-bills and bonds. But government saw a gap in the bond market and in T-bills market, that it is not liquid enough, and they wanted retail participation, and it is a good product. So they thought there is value of introducing this to retail. And why not? This is completely risk free. Okay, now you will say, bhai meri FD अच्छी चल रही है, why would I think about something like a T-bill? Before that, what is a T-bill and what is a bond? It's not much difference. Is different. It's just that RBI bonds जो होते हैं वो 1 साल से ज़्यादा की मैच्योरिटी के होते हैं, एंड जो T-bills होते हैं वो 1 साल से कम की मैच्योरिटी के होते हैं. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ द सेम रीजन, क्योंकि बॉन्ड्स की मैच्योरिटी ज़्यादा होती है, एंड दे गो अप टू आई थिंक 30-year बॉन्ड्स भी होते हैं. And every day, every week, there are new bonds being launched by government for thousands of crores of rupees for us to buy. And because of its long-term duration, bonds give us coupon payment. Every 6 months, they will be announcing कि भाई ये bond है, ये 7% rate of interest का bond है, आपको उसके end of the tenure, if you hold till maturity, 100 rupees मिलेंगे. And 100 rupees तो मिलेंगे ही, plus this is a 7% bond, तो आपको 3.5 rupees every 6 months हम pay करें. That is basically your interest. So it will effectively give you 7% compounded interest over whatever time period you buy. What about T-bills? T-bills do not have a long duration. So उसमें interest payment का ज़्यादा फंडा नहीं होता. यहाँ पे अगर आपको 100 rupees का T-bill खरीदना है तो 1000 rupees का होता है कम से कम. 100 into 100, 10,000 rupees आप invest कम से कम कर सकते हो to invest in T-bills. That is a minimum amount that you can invest in T-bills. 100 rupees के 100 आपको लेने पड़ेंगे. उसके बाद आप कितने भी ले सकते हो, 101, 102, 103, कितने भी 100 rupee T-bills ले सकते हो. But 100 आपको कम से कम लेना है. And because they are very short term, there are 3 T-bills from Indian government: 91 days, 182 days, and 364 days. So coming to these are basically 91 days, 182, and 364 days, and they are launched every week. How can you buy it? I'll tell you very quickly. How I buy it, I'll tell you. There are other ways also. But coming back to my question, why T-bills and why not FDs? So T-bills mein you will invest a little less amount. So imagine you want a payment to mature of 1 lakh rupees. तो आप अगर 1 साल का 364 days वाला T-bill खरीद रहे हो, and if I am assuming a 6.5% rate of interest, so आपका at the start you will buy it for 93,897 rupees. Okay, so you will invest 93,897, और जब वो 1 साल बाद मैच्योर होगा तो आपको 1 लाख रुपए देगा. That is how you will realize your returns. And second reason why we should go for T-bills is currently because the interest rate cycle is such, T-bills are giving us higher rate than FD. What makes me say that? When we were discussing the interest rates, they have risen over the past few years from 4% to 6.5% currently over the last year or so. If I can show you a yield curve, currently 1 year ka yield curve is giving more interest than 2 years, even 3 years. Almost, so it's like a bias that छोटे duration के yield curves, छोटे duration के rates have considerably increased. If you see here 3 months का, पिछले 6 months में 3 months have started giving more, whereas जो ज़्यादा tenure के होते थे, they have started giving us less and less yield. So if I have to say 4 years का currently is giving me around 7% bond का yield, but it was around 7.4% 6 months ago. So that has dropped, and the shorter duration has increased. It has increased from 6.3% 6 months ago to 6.7% around right now. And why does this happen? Because the market does not have a lot of confidence in the long term. They want to secure their investments more for the short term. Because of the high interest rate scenario, this is how the bond rates behave, and it is also called an inverted yield curve. Again, a huge topic. Let us not go into that. But in high interest rate cycle, this is what happens, and less duration of bonds, which we call T-bills, become more and more attractive. Number 1 is the interest rate cycle. Number 2 reason is they are better than FDs right now. So if I look at T-bills, so 364 days ka T-bills, I got it for 6.5%, 182 days ka 6.7, and 91 days ka 6.6. थोड़ा सा वो है, वही इन्वर्जन है यहाँ पे. So shorter durations are giving me a bit more, but I should not bother about it much. But definitely they are giving higher yields than FDs. And second, third most, so one is higher interest rate cycles, so a case for T-bills. And why FD? Why not FDs? Because they give higher returns currently, and usually also they will always give higher returns than FD. And the most important point which made me decide why I should shift from FDs to T-bills is the safety. Government insures every bank account, but it is insuring maximum up to 5 lakh rupees. That is the insurance government gives. So if I am a person and if I have some account in a bank, some investments in a bank, it can be FDs, it can be RDs, it can be savings account, everything total. If I have like 11 lakh rupees in that bank, and if something happens to the bank tomorrow, which has happened in the past and which has just happened in the US as well, then my amount is insured only till an amount of 5 lakh rupees. 6 lakh mera gaya 11 lakh se. That is one major concern, and that is why you will hear people opening multiple bank accounts, because this 5 lakh limit applies to one person for one bank. If one person has same, so if I had divided 11 lakh into 5 lakh in one bank and 6 lakh in another, I would have got 5 lakh from one bank, 5 lakh from another bank. So 10 lakh there, mera 1 lakh loss hota. And what I have read, people recommend having bank accounts in 3 major banks to diversify that risk. But even then, sometimes maybe for some of you, if your savings are more than 30 lakhs, you don't want to put in more than 15 lakhs. If you are unmarried, you will be opening 3 accounts. But if you are married, your wife can also open 3 accounts. So you can also have 6 accounts, which is already a hassle to manage. And that will also give you a maximum limit of 30 lakhs to be saved. And where do you put the rest? That is why in this case T-bills comes in even as a winner. T-bills are guaranteed by the government, guaranteed by RBI. A bank failing is a much more higher possibility than a whole government defaulting or RBI defaulting on its loans. This is much more secure, and the only problem, okay, let me come to the problem also. The main problem of T-bills is इट इज मच मोर इलिक्विड. एफडी आप बीच में तोड़ा सकते हो, तो उसमें 1% का रेट कम चार्ज होता है. तो लाइक 4.5% की अगर एफडी है और आपने 2 महीने में तोड़ा ली, तो यू विल आई थिंक गेट 3.5% का फॉर दैट ड्यूरेशन एनुअलाइज. सेम 182 डेज, सेम 364 डेज. टी-बिल्स में थोड़ा पंगा है कि इट इज ऑल्सो लिक्विड इन अ वे कि यू कैन गो इन टू द मार्केट एंड सेल, but it is possible that you will get even lesser. So T-bills is something that is beneficial when held to maturity. How to overcome that risk? That is why the concept of laddering. Laddering means every month I will receive some payments. It can be FD laddering also. Basically आप हर महीने एक FD कराओ 1 साल की, तो आपको एक महीने बाद 1 साल के बाद हर महीने FD मैच्योर होती हुई दिखेगी. That same concept is here for T-bills laddering, through which we can overcome our risks of लिक्विडिटी. हमें 1 साल तक वेट करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. अगर मेरे को मंथली एक्सपेंस, एंड आई कैन पार्क माई इमरजेंसी फंड्स इफ आई नो माई मंथली एक्सपेंसेस आर 1 lakh, आई कैन बिल्ड अ लैडर विच गिव्स मी 1 lakh rupees every month. And I'll show you how we can build that ladder. If I get 1 lakh every month, my emergency corpus is in place. How can we buy T-bills? How do I buy it? So there is something called RBI Direct Ka account also. I'm not very sure how to do that. I had an account with Zerodha, so I use Coin to get those. Okay, and coming to that 5 lakh wala thing, insurance. So you can go and do your research. So this is AU Small Finance Bank. I think this is very much in news because it has very good FD rates. जो FD rates मैंने देखा है SDFC के, they were very low. But again, SDFC is one of the most trusted banks. Very low chance of it failing. And even if it fails, something will be done because it is so huge and so much deposits. So government may intervene. So it is much less risky. But AU Bank has, I think it is one of the top banks to give high rates. And उन्हीं के पेज पे there is written that every bank account, be it AU or be it any other account, is insured to a maximum of 5 lakh. And they have given all sorts of, who is insured, how much amount, all the scenarios they have played. Okay, so you can go and do your research. This was the major reason why I decided to shift from FDs to T-bills. Now my T-bills in Coin Zerodha, so they open every Monday and Tuesday. They are open for bidding. How I do it is, I go and bid, put the money in Zerodha ka account, and block that money is kind of blocked. Basically they look for that money on Thursday when these are allotted. So Monday, Tuesday I place the bid कि मेरे को कितने चाहिए. So suppose I started off with the minimum, which was 100 units of 100 rupees, which becomes 10,000, and I had bought each of the three 91-day T-bill 10th April को buy किया, which will mature on 13th July. And what happens, it does not go to Zerodha, it goes to the bank account directly once it matures. 182 days will mature on 12th October, bought on 10th April, and 10th April buying on 11th April 2024, 364 day T-bill will mature. And what rates I got for these? So I will get 10,000 rupees, but my rates were these. These were the three rates I got for the three T-bills. So I invested around, if it was 364 days, तो मेरे लगे around 93,500, 9,350 rupees instead of 10,000 ऐसे ऐसे करके, and there was a that delta is my earning. It's kind of an FD. How to build that ladder? Why laddering is good and we should do it front heavy? Let's build it together. The video is not complete if we do not do any Excel exercise here. So suppose I want monthly payments. In my first month, I will buy 3 T-bills. Suppose this is January, ऐसे ले लो. Investing month, maturity amount. So I will invest, I will take my money out of those fixed deposits. If any bank has more than 5 lakh rupees in my account, I would try to make it safer, and I will put it in a 3-month T-bill, 6-month T-bill, and 12-month T-bill. So 3 lakhs, and it will not be 3 lakh actually, it will be less than 3 lakh. तो वो Tuesday को आप 3 lakh ensure करोगे, but when it comes to Friday or Thursday, they will deduct a much lesser amount actually. So मैं हमेशा इतना amount रखता हूँ, but जितना भी बचता है उसमें से वो मेरा account में रह जाता है. Second month में again I will buy 3, and they will be maturing in month 5, month 8, month 14. Okay. Similarly, third month में month 6, month 9, and month 12. Alright, so we are at least, and this is called front loading of the ladder. Why? Because the curve is currently inverted. We are going to make use of shorter maturities. ये 3 months, ये 6 months, ये 3 months, ये 6 months, ये 3 months, ये 6 months. We are going to make use of those shorter maturities. It will serve two purposes. It will give us higher maturity because of the interest yield curve inversion at this time. And secondly, it will give us a bit more liquidity. We are not going to wait for 12 months after we make our first investment. The first one will mature only in 3 months, and we have the option of utilizing that money if we need it, or we can reinvest. Idea is everything is fine, we will reinvest it. Now, when it comes to 4th month, we will not need to invest for month 7 because we already have one maturing in 4th month. So, and we already have one maturing in 7th month. So we will directly go to 10th month because 10th का अभी तक कोई maturity नहीं हुई है, and one more which will be 16th month. Month 5 will give me, अभी तक 11th month में कुछ mature नहीं हुआ है और 17th month में कुछ mature नहीं हुआ है. Coming to 6th month, I will again put it only for 18th. There will be only one that I will put. Okay. This builds a ladder for me. This is like free because it is coming from here. 16th month के लिए मेरे को डालना होगा. This is again free because this is going to mature, and actually this is again free. So यहाँ से मेरी पूरी लैडर शुरू हो जाएगी. फिर मैं अब मेरे को कुछ नहीं करना है, मेरे को 7th का 19th करना है, उसका मेरे को ऑलरेडी ऊपर मैच्योरिटी मिल रही है 7th मंथ वाली. ये 7th मंथ में मैच्योर होगा तो ये तब तक मेरे को कुछ लगाना नहीं पड़ेगा. सो दिस इज लाइक बेसिकली आर लैडर. मैं कुछ नहीं लगा रहा, वो बस री इन्वेस्ट करता जा रहा हूँ. मेरा 12 महीने का पैसा विच इज़ 11 lakh rupees will keep rotating in itself. Okay, so this is the ladder I am trying to build for myself as well. I know that I need an amount every month for my emergency funds, so I have built a ladder. So every month at the start of the month when I get my salary, I won't and also because I have some FDs, so I will be taking money off and I'll build my T-bill ladder. Also, I have an overall plan where once there is certainty in the market, when I look at Nifty, which has been flat over time, once it gets into a particular direction, either drops, many people are saying a recession is around the corner in June. If that happens, I will stop reinvesting and start utilizing it to invest in the stock market, buying at lows. Or if it goes high up, that also may be a time. Basically, I will start removing that amount from here to any avenue that I feel like. But for the time being, for high interest rates, this is a good strategy. And also, similarly, we can build a bond yield. If you are looking for retirement corpus, and if you know that at 60 years you will require X amount of money, which we discussed in our last video, right? My Excel that we built lets us know what is the amount of money that will be required in this year. That you can use to buy a bond ladder and create a ladder which takes care of X amount in that year being mature. So you don't have to worry about saving anymore. And one by one, you can cover every year in a similar bond ladder, similar to a T-bill ladder that we built here. But that may be not for today, for some other time. So thank you, and let me know in the comments what you felt about it.